Sahana bhavatu sahanau bhunasthu sahaviryam karavavahai tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So last year we have been studying this book, Esoteric Healing. This is from Alice Bailey. Alice Bailey. It's a teaching from Master Chalkul directly about the subject of healing. And in this book, last year we have been studying the psychological causes of disease. Psychological cause of disease. So we have already started this chapter. Psychological causes. Cause. In this we have studied some points which were explained in this chapter already by Master Chalkul. We have studied about the 7 centers and their correspondence with the physical organs. This we have studied already last year. And then the causes, according to his teaching, the causes of disease are classified mainly into 3 types. The 3 most important aspects. So first there is a classification of 3 important aspects in this. One is the psychological, the gauging of the inner bodies of man from the angle of their development, their integration, and the total coordination of the personality.
The second is the inner anger?
The gazing of the inner bodies of man from the angle of their development, their integration and the total coordination of the personality as the subtler aspects of human being express themselves in consciousness, because these aspects are expressed in the consciousness of the human being. And so the psychological causes of disease are So now he is further explaining from the remarks made about these things. He says that diseases emerge into the physical body from the world of unseen world. Unseen world means the subjective plane. From the unseen world. Diseases emerge into the physical body from the world of the unseen, because generally we understand that disease is located somewhere in the physical body. But it is what is located in the physical body, anywhere in the physical tissue, is only the result, the manifested result of the disease, which is never located in the physical body. The same thing was explained also by Dr. Hahnemann in homeopathy. Dr. Hahnemann also explains that disease does not exist anywhere in the physical body. But normally we understand all the different sufferings, pains and all this as disease, but they are not the disease. For example, if you are suffering from constipation, so constipation is not the disease. It is only one manifestation of a disorder. Suppose you are suffering from headache. Some persons are there who are suffering from chronic headache. Every day they get headache. So they think that their disease is in the head. No. It is only one manifestation of the disease, and this manifestation is expressed through this in the form of pain. Yeah. This is very clearly explained by Hahnemann. Therefore, according to the holistic sciences of healing, you should never directly deal with the symptoms or the sufferings.
What I wish to say.
Suppose you use a painkiller.
Yeah.
So its name itself shows it is the killer of the pain, but not of the...
Not of the disturbance.
So, the pain is killed, it means the symptom is made to disappear. But unfortunately, symptom is not disease.
Which is more dangerous.
More dangerous. Hahnemann in homeopathy has explained that symptoms are indicators of the disease. They are only indicators. If you destroy the indicator, then what happens is you have eliminated any possibility for you to know what is happening inside and how you can deal with that. For this, I have given a known example several times. When you are driving the car, on the panel you have many indicators. Suppose suddenly when you are on the highway, driving on the highway, and there is an indicator blinking to show you that fuel is getting out. So what you have to do immediately to find some fueling station and go and fill. When you fill the fuel, the indicator stops automatically. But if you feel that the indicator is disturbing because of blinking and break the indicator, so the indicator stops because you have broken it. But very shortly the car also stops on the mid highway. The same thing happens to our body also. If we destroy these symptoms, instead of trying to do what you have to do with the disease, then no more indication will be there for you until you reach the end of the matter. That is what is happening very often in the medical field. It's what you see with many people. So when the effect of the disease is manifested on the physical tissue, then you go to the specialist, then he makes all the investigations, magnetic resonance and all these things, and then the doctor says, now you have the disease. But this is not the disease. It is only manifestation, and this is not now. Many years before it is there with you, now it got manifested. Suppose cancer. The cancer, only the oncologist, the specialist, can confirm only by taking a biopsy and testing it, and when he can see the cancerous cell, yes, now you have cancer.
The beginning is much.
The beginning of the cancer is not now. At least 10 years or 15 years before.
Yeah.
Not now. So, there is the manifestation or the symptom when it is considered as a disease is a wrong understanding. So, therefore, we should try to find out what is the real cause of the disorder. Disease is a disorder, not the result of a disorder. Here we have to be very careful in understanding. Disorder and result that is manifested. So the result is not the disease, but the result is unfortunately given some name in the modern medical science. The modern medical science, they are concerned about giving a name to the disease. What is the use of giving it the name? So they make all, you go to the very specialist, they make all the investigations and they say, this is the name of your disease. Okay, then what? It is only the result. What you are giving a name is to the result that is manifested on the physical body. But the cause of the disorder is far deeper and far before than the manifestation. So, for example, cancer. So when you make the biopsy of the tissue which is affected, then you see they confirm that it is a cancer. Then what can you do to eliminate the part? That is what is happening. Either to cut it out or to burn it by radiation or to destroy it with chemicalization, chemo. Only these three alternatives. So, when you have destroyed that particular part which is affected by cancer, are you sure that it is cured? Never. Never. Because we are confronted with many cases like this. They make first biopsy test. Then you make another confirmation test. Then you make a surgery, you eliminate this. Then make a radiation. Then they say, what for this radiation? Then they say that, oh, to prevent further. Okay, and then they say, you have to also take chemo. Then they say, we have done everything for you.
Yes.
Yes.
This is the point.
This is the point. And they will try to convince you that you are not paying from your pocket, it is from the insurance. But of course, for the insurance company you have paid before. Insurance company, they will not pay unless you pay insurance before. So with all this, and then after a very short time, then there is another manifestation, because the disorder is there, you are not that is there, it is not eliminated. And then if you go to the doctor once again, they say, now this is the secondary effect. The primary I have taken this away, but it is secondary effect.
This is the
Repetition. Because it is manifested in another part. You have eliminated one organ, it has now manifested in another organ.
And even if these two must be also they have the same ground,
Yes.
the same tissue,
Same tissue.
that it can appear.
It cannot, but they have already burned the tissue.
No, but in the other part.
In the other part, yes.
The same tissue.
Yes. So now again the whole thing. But now by this time what is happening? The whole immune system is destroyed. The defense mechanism is totally destroyed.
And then there's free feel.
So there is no more defense in you, with you, no defense force. You are confronted with many attacks from the enemies. So anything can enter into you. Because all this type of treatment, radiotherapy, chemotherapy, all these types of treatments, they are not really to eliminate the disease. They are trying to destroy the immune system. The logic is that if you allow the immune system to continue, it is making the cancerous cell to spread, to multiply. So how can you stop multiplication of cancer cell by destroying the immune system? It's very...
But this is a criminal logic.
It's criminal logic. Because this is because they don't come to the point that disorder is not on the physical. This they won't accept. The disorder is on the higher level, and this is only a result manifested. The modern medical science not yet reached to this conclusion. So unless the modern medical science reaches this, you cannot make any solution. Only postponement. You can postpone. There is only postponement. What you do? They say we have given radiation, chemotherapy, and now you have no cancer. It is true on the physical level for now. But what about the quality of life? You may have postponed it for 1 year, 2 years, or 5 years, like that. Now they are claiming that, we have extended the life for 10 years. Okay, but during these 10 years, what is the quality of living? You have to completely support the system with so many medicines. It is awful. If you have to live the whole life taking so much of medication, chemicals, then it is better to live before that. It's a waste of time.
But you cannot bring the spiritual aspect to this topic because we do not see the spiritual.
No. Because when you see only the form aspect and cannot go beyond the form, then there is no solution. That is the problem. So that is why. So the disease emerges into the physical body from the world of the unseen. So you see, this explains all these things. And from the use or misuse of subtler forces or inner planes. This is what is the cause of disease? It is a misuse. It is a misuse.
Even can be a misunderstanding.
Yes. Misuse of the subtler forces. Because our living is made possible by the activity of the subtler forces.
Which forces?
Subtle forces.
Is this a second cause of disease or first psychological?
It is in this chapter only. The subtler causes, the subtler forces. Because our living is made possible because of the activity of the subtler forces. What are the subtler forces? For example, you see, you know that our inhalation and exhalation is going on. Who is responsible for this activity? Are we responsible? If we think that we are responsible, then we would not have existed by this time. Because how much time you remember about this? It is a fact that inhalation and exhalation should continue if we want to continue to live. But how much time in every day that you can remember this? Even this phenomenon is not remembered. If you are to be responsible, then you should make your inhalation and exhalation constantly remembering this. Suppose if the devas, they say that, my dear human beings, you keep doing your inhalation exhalation for one day for yourself because we have some work to do, then what happens?
You die already.
We very easily forget about this because we are making inhalation exhalation. I have to live making inhalation exhalation. And would also say, how Ananta, how are you doing? Say, yeah, I am doing well. Finish. Because I forget to make inhalation. Finish. So, even though those people who call themselves to be rationalistic and scientific cannot deny the fact that inhalation and exhalation is conducted by some higher force, not by us. Yeah. The test is so simple. So these are the higher forces working in us. They are responsible. They are called subtler forces working in us. So many of these subtler forces are working. A synthesis of these forces is responsible for our existence. You see? That is the work of the Deva kingdom who are working. If we believe or don't believe, it makes no matter. It is no matter for them. If we don't believe also, they will do the work. If we don't believe their existence, then also they do, because they are not doing for our belief. That is they are not human beings to do something for recognition. They are doing it with joy, not for recognition. So they do it whether you believe or not. Yes, yes. All pulsations, so many functions. All pulsations and all these are working as principles. There are many laws that are governing these functions. Law of pulsation and law of alternation. All these laws are functioning because of that only. Due to the operation of the law of alternation, you have alternation of inhalation and exhalation. Otherwise it cannot happen. Due to the law of pulsation, you have this centrifugal and centripetal, alternation of centripetal and centrifugal pulsations. All this is very perfectly arranged. They are working. So if you behave wrongly with these subtler forces, this creates a disturbance. So we should know how to behave properly with these, how to behave properly, how to cooperate with them. This is what we have to study, we have to know. Not just about only how to destroy a disease. So a cooperation, and Master Ike has given one wonderful lecture in Geneva, cooperation between human and Deva kingdoms. We are expected to have a good cooperation with the Devas, the Deva kingdom. That is what the Lord says in 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. He says that the Devas are honoring you because they are working for you for nothing. They are working for you constantly. So you try to learn that you have to honor them and be honored by them. Then there will be a mutuality.
This is
Cooperation. You learn to cooperate with them. Live with this cooperation. Then you will experience a very good existence.
Energy follows.
Yes. If you cooperate properly,
Then energy
follows. So therefore that is what the Lord says. You learn how to cooperate with the Devas and how to honor them and be honored by them. It's with this mutuality you will attain the best of the quality of the existence. That is what the Lord says. So therefore a disorder is the result of a misuse, a misbehavior, misuse of the subtler forces on the inner planes. So these inner planes we have to properly, first of all we have to accept the fact that our existence is on the inner plane. Even though we cannot see, we cannot perceive with our physical instrument, but it can be felt by you. If you start responding to this, then you can feel, then you can realize, you can experience it. If you are well trained, you can be in this experience always of the working of the inner subtler planes, of inner forces. It must be remembered, however, that disease, as it expresses itself in man, can be generally regarded as due to the following causes. Here he has given some causes of the disease in a regular form. So he says that it must be remembered, however, that disease as it expresses itself in man can be generally regarded as due to the following causes, and students would do well to have this most carefully in mind as they ponder on these matters. So what are the causes? The first is the individual disease due to interior conditions in a man's own equipment, to his mental state, or to an emotional condition which can produce serious illness. See, serious on the mental state or on emotional condition. This is inherited from the past. See, this is very closer to homeopathic understanding. What Dr. Hahnemann said is, disease never exists on the physical plane. So the root of the disease, the root of the suffering is on the deeper layers, on the mind and on the level of intelligence. We only know about our physical body because it is perceptible. What is perceptible is only our physical body, because it is on the material plane. That is true. But the physical body, how the physical body is constituted, it is constituted according to the vital body, which is on the vital plane. How can you explain the relationship of the vital body and physical body in understandable terms? Take the example of the cloth. So the cloth is, what you call the cloth is only a shape. And this shape is manifested because of the arrangement of the threads. What you call cloth is not some different substance, it is only the threads which are arranged in a particular pattern. So, the various qualities of the cloth, either the color or the shape or all these things, depend upon how the threads are arranged. So, in this example, you can correlate our physical body with the cloth and the arrangement of the threads as the vital body. Now it should be clear. So the vital force of the vital body is constituted by the lines of forces like the threads. So an arrangement of the lines of forces is responsible for the manifestation of what we call the physical body. This we have to always remember. And these lines of forces which constitute the vital body, they are arranged according to a plan, not just like that. They have a plan, and this plan is on the mental plane. Suppose there is an architect like our Christoph. So when Christoph wants to make a building, he cannot just bring the bricks and all these things and put together like this. It's not possible. He should have a plan in his mind. When he looks at the vacant land, so he looks at the vacant land, immediately in his mind, he has the structure in his mind. But it is on mental plane. The structure is on the mind. He can see the structure in the mental plane. But I am not an architect. I will only see, oh, this is only vacant land. So he has this on the mental level, the structure as a plan. So the architect makes a plan. According to this plan, the mason works out, bringing the matter to make the building, then it is perfect. So the plan always lies on the mental level, on the mind, level of mind. Similarly, the arrangement and the pattern of the vital body is on the mental plane as a plan. So suppose if the architect is confused person, then his plan is not proper. If you cannot make a proper plan, then what you build is not proper. So you cannot have a proper building. So then it will be weak. In the same manner, if there is a distortion on the mental level, this distorts the arrangement of the lines of forces which constitute your vital body. Then subsequently the result is a distortion on the physical body. Because the physical body is only a manifestation of the shape and all these things according to how it is arranged on the vital body. Another example, you take a candle, a candle made from wax. So it is only paraffin wax, and where paraffin wax is boiled and it becomes a liquid, then you put this paraffin wax into a mold. A mold. And this, when it is put in the mold as a liquid, after some time it gets into a solid and it forms exactly according to the mold. Then you open this, you have the candle. So the shape of the candle is according to the mold. Every part of the design of the candle is according to the mold of the shape of the mold design. So whatever design you want for the candle, you have to make it in the mold, not on the candle. Because if you want to make it on the candle, it will melt away. So the mold. This is another example for you to understand the relationship between physical body and vital body. So vital body is like a mold, and physical body is formed exactly according to the mold. So if there is any distortion on the physical body, this means there is already this distortion is there on the vital body. This you must be very clear in the mind. So therefore, if there is any distortion in the physical body, if you want to deal with the distortion directly, what can you do? You must know that distortion is on the vital body and how to reverse this distortion. That is there on the mental plane. So you have to go to the mental plane, rectify there, then the distortion on the vital plane is rectified, then automatically on the physical plane it is normal. This is very, very clearly explained by Dr. Hahnemann in homeopathy science. So, mental state or to an emotional condition which can produce serious illness is the inherited from the past. So the serious illness, the serious sickness is produced because of the distortion on the emotion. We have to also know very clearly about emotion. What is emotion? Many people think that we should have emotion and we should keep our emotion. Yes, it is true, okay. But what is it exactly? What is this emotion? Whether to have emotion or not. Yeah, you can have emotion, but it should be very, very clearly and properly maintained. Because emotion is like a disturbance. For example, there is a lake. The lake, when there is no movement, then what you see in the lake is exactly the reflection, clear reflection of the sky. Whatever is there in the sky reflects very clearly in the lake when there is no movement of the water. Then you won't see the water, you only see the sky. Suppose there is full moon, the moon very clearly is there. So in the lake you see the moon very clearly. Suppose you entered into the water of the lake and you made so many movements and disturbed it, and all the mud which is there settled down, all this mud is again, it came and merged with water, mixed with water. Now this water is mixed with the mud, and all this, there is movement, the ripples and waves. Then the same reflection of the moon will be like small pieces, no more. The moon appears to have broken into pieces, and all reflection is distorted. So the water without any disturbance, which could reflect perfectly, is like a clear mind without emotional disturbance. And the mud and all these disturbances which cause the distortion of the reflection is what is, it is just like the emotion. Emotion is like the mud. You have to make the emotion settle down without movement, then your mind is perfect, pure, clear, and balanced. If you allow the emotion to rouse, then it disrupts the mind, and your mind is conditioned very much. So then there will be a disturbance from one side to other side. Desire and hatred, like, dislike, all these things. Opposite things will, your mind will be like a pendulum between two ends. It cannot be at equilibrium. All this is because of this emotional disturbance. So emotion, unfortunately, we wrongly understand emotion as love. Love is not emotion at all. Affection, love and affection are on the higher plane, and emotion is on the lower plane. Is lower mental plane. Because the experience of love and affection has no disturbance. You feel very, very balanced, and also it is free from these pairs of opposites. But when there is emotion, then all these things. So even with your relationships between parents and children, or between the couple, whatever it may be, if this relationship is based on the emotion, then there is always a change. Sometimes they say, oh, we are very happy, and after a short time then they are completely gone down, depressed, and struggle, and all these things. So there is a lot of hell of a difference between affection and emotion. Love and affection is on higher, emotion is on lower. This we have to remember always. If you dwell on emotions, then there will be disturbance always. Because the emotions in us, they are governed by our the center, the solar plexus center, Manipuraka, at the seat of emotions. At the solar plexus. Whereas the seat of love and affection is our heart center, higher. So here it is explained here, what is explained here is individual disease due to interior conditions in a man's own equipment to his mental state or to an emotional condition which can produce serious ills. This is inherited from the past. So these disturbances are inherited from the past. What is this past? This inheritance is from the past previous lives, from the connections from the previous lives. That is very well explained by Dr. Hahnemann in the homeopathic science. These disturbing factors, which he named as miasms, they are inherited from one generation to other generation, unfailingly. You cannot avoid this inheritance. This he has very logically proved also. And then another point that is given here is about the psychological causes. Disease inherent in humanity as a whole is another thing. First thing is at the individual level, but this point is on the level of the whole of humanity. Because you see now so much of disorder, disharmony and disturbance, what we are able to see on the level of human beings, the whole humanity. Why there is war, why there is destruction, all these things. That is a disease at that level. So it is a disease, disease inherent in humanity as a whole. There are certain diseases to which all men are prone. Men means human beings. The germs of these diseases are latent in the physical vehicles of the majority of men, only awaiting predisposing conditions in order to manifest. This is very clearly to be understood. Generally what we understand is the cause of a disease is these microorganisms. That is what is generally understood in the modern medicine. That is what is called bacteria and virus. The microorganisms are understood normally as the causes of spreading the disease. But this is also is very clearly explained by Hahnemann and his followers. Kent also has explained, and the latest is Master E.K. who explained also this, about this. Generally for the normal understanding, we attribute the diseases, cause of a disease, to the microorganisms. which we call bacteria and virus. Bacteria.
Bacteria and virus.
So normally it is understood that these microorganisms enter into human organization, human constitution, and then the diseases are caused. But Hahnemann and Kent, they have explained with precise examples that the microorganisms appear a few days later that the person is attacked by a disease. By investigation they have proved this. For example, malaria. The disease which is called malaria is attributed due to Plasmodium parasite or Vivax parasite. There are two types of parasites. Two types of malaria is identified. One is Plasmodium parasite and another is Vivax parasite. Okay, but when a person got fever with the particular symptoms which appear in malaria, immediately if you make investigation of the blood, you won't find these parasites. Only after 2 or 3 days of fever, when the fever goes high, then you make investigation, then you may find either of these parasites. So now, is it the disease that is existing before or is the parasite existing before?
This is an animal.
Yes, it is the carrier. The carrier is the mosquito, that is the carrier. You see, that is also how nature makes all the check. Because it is only one particular type of mosquito, Anopheles mosquito. Anopheles mosquito and that too only female Anopheles mosquito.
Yeah.
That is the carrier.
That's the problem it used to be.
But when you make an investigation, the person got fever already few days before this is identified in the blood. So this virus, these parasites are seen only after the person got the fever and the condition. Same thing when you also observe in typhoid. You can find the particular bacteria, Staphylococcus, only after 5 days when the person got fever. Before that you cannot find any of this in the blood. Yes, it's clear, very clear. So after the person got this, suffered from 4 or 5 days, at least 4 or 5 days, after that only you can find this particular type of bacteria. So this is also evident that the sickness is before the bacteria is existing. So this is very clear that this is not the cause of the disease. If it should be the cause, it should be there before. But no.
Always about it. For example, focus can be, in the test they will see it only in a few days after you already got.
Yes. Same thing. So therefore, what is very well explained by Hahnemann and Kent and these doctors by investigation is, they are not responsible for the disease. They have a different purpose. When the person got this disease condition, then there is the toxic condition manifested in the blood of the person, in the tissues. And due to this condition, there is accumulation of toxic matter in the body, and this toxic matter in the body blocks the organs to work. And to prevent this, the body needs certain other organisms which can clear this toxic matter. And therefore, these parasites are attracted, because this toxic matter which is formed in our body is a good food for them. And these microorganisms are attracted because they have a very good food here. So they are necessary to eat this away. So they have a good food, they have a good condition to live here. So they make their tents, temporary houses here. They have the food, they have their family, they multiply. They go on producing their children because they have plenty of food. When you have plenty of food and good conditions to live, you can have many children, that is no problem. So the microorganisms can multiply very fast. Millions, because they have plenty of food. They have good conditions to live in here. So as long as the toxic substances are produced, they will live there. So if you try to destroy these fellows who are there to work as scavengers to clear this out, what are you doing? They will disappear naturally only when you change the condition so that no more toxicity is there in the body. If the toxic condition is neutralized and no more toxic substance is produced, then they will disappear. They have no food, they will disappear from there. They will take out the tents and go to the other place where they have their food. You need not make any special effort to kill them, to destroy them, all these things. Yes.
Humans go to these places where they can.
Yes. The migration. The migration is.
So this is malaria, predatory malaria.
Yeah. So those factors which make your constitution make your constitution into such condition which starts produces toxic substances. So those factors are inner, there in the inside you, not outside. Because they are inside you and producing such conditions, they